In one of the past videos, we covered how to do a reverse parallel park. That time, I showed how to do a reverse parallel park behind one car, but in a real world situation, you do a reverse parallel park in between two cars. So in this video, we will look at how to do a reverse parallel park between two cars. I'll first explain how to do this maneuver in theory, and then I'll do it in practice between two cars. Are you ready? Let's get moving. So let's say we are driving and we need to park in between these two cars. The first thing that we want to do is to let drivers behind know that we want to stop. So we check the rear view and left side mirror and signal left. Then we want to gradually slow down in order to line up with the front car. The distance between our car and this parked car needs to be 0.5 meter to 1 meter. Here's an important part. You don't want to stop too far like this or too close like this. Also, you want to make sure that your car is straight, not angled like this or like this. So stop like this. You also want to be careful with this step because if you are on your driving test and you stop very close to the front vehicle, you could get a major error recorded and fail immediately. When we stop, our car mirror should be in line with their mirror. At this point, immediately select reverse, then carry out your observations. So here, our car is going to be moving backwards, so we check our right side blind spot and all the mirrors, and also physically look at the rear through the back window. For this maneuver, we are going to be using 3 key reference points. The first reference point ensures we don't hit this car next to us. The second and third reference points ensure we don't park too far from the curb or hit the curb. Now, I'll explain what each of those reference points are and how to use them. The first reference point is to reverse until the brake lights of the front car are in the middle of our rear passenger window, like so. Next, we turn the steering wheel full lock until our car is about a 45-degree angle. This is our second reference point, and this part is the most difficult one. Most people will need to practice this step quite a lot to get it. In the practical part of this video, I'll give a few hints on how to find a 45-degree angle. Now, when the car gets to a 45-degree angle, you want to straighten the tires. If you don't straighten the tires, the angle will be too big and the maneuver will not work. Next, we move to our third reference point. To get to the third reference point, reverse until the left side mirror is in the middle of this car. Usually in most cars, there will be a logo or a number plate. What we want to do is to reverse until our left side mirror starts to block the logo. If there is no logo, use the middle of the number plate. And if there is no number plate, use an imaginary point in the middle of this car. At this point, we turn the steering wheel full lock to the right and continue reversing until the car is straight. Once the car is straight, it's time to straighten up the tires. To do this, we turn the steering wheel about 1.5 turn to the left. Now, let's shift our focus to doing this maneuver on the road. So I'm going to park somewhere here in between these two cars. The first thing that I need to do is to check the rear view mirror, the left side mirror, and indicate left. I'll then gradually slow down and position the car about half a meter to 1 meter between my car and this vehicle. Remember, we don't want to be too close or too far. Also, we want to ensure that our car is parallel to the parked vehicle and not angled. I then continue moving and stop mirror to mirror like so, and immediately select the reverse gear. It sounds simple, but a number of learner drivers who forget to put the car in reverse is quite high. So always select reverse before doing observations. Now, we need to remember to check our surroundings first before reversing. So first, right side blind spot, check all the mirrors, left side mirror, and physically check the rear. I now start reversing and stop when the middle of the passenger window is in line with the brake lights of this car like so. I then do another quick check before steering. So here some of you may ask, isn't it a waste of time to check again since you just checked a minute ago? The answer to this is no. Remember, when we steer, the back of the car is moving towards the left side, but look at the front. It's moving towards the right side, and if another car is overtaking, we will crash into them. So first, we need to do another quick check. So we check the right side blind spot again, check the front and the the rear. If a car is coming from the front or the back, we need to stop and see what their intention is. Are they going to overtake or will they wait for us? If they want to overtake, we must remain stationary until they've passed. If they want to wait for us, we continue our maneuver. The next step is to turn the steering wheel. So now the question is, do we turn the steering wheel to the left or to the right side? So here we are in reverse, which means we want to focus on where the back of our car is going to go. In this case, we need the back of the car to move towards the curb, so the left side. Thus, we turn the steering wheel full lock to the left while moving slowly. Also remember to control the car, especially if parking on a hill. If you reverse too fast, these steps will not work. Also here we are avoiding dry steering, which is turning the steering wheel while stationary. There is a lot of debate about whether dry steering is okay to do or not, but what I can say that it's best to avoid it if you can. The next step is to reverse and look for a 45-degree angle. For this part, it's useful to pick a stationary object which is around a 45-degree angle. So from my view, this is 90 and 45 will be about here. What I can do is to use, for example, this tree here or this part of the driveway here. Another tip I can give is when you get to a 45-degree angle, the front passenger window will be about here. In small cars like a Suzuki Swift, the middle of this window will be in line with the brake lights of the parked car. In medium-sized cars, about a third of the window will be in line with the brake lights of this car. So you need to experiment a bit and find out which point of the window gives you a 45-degree angle. Once you find it, you can use it every time instead of a stationary object. For me, I prefer using a stationary object. Once we get a 45-degree angle, we turn the steering wheel about 1.5 turn to the right. The reason we do this is to straighten up the tires. If you turn the steering wheel full lock at this point without straightening, you will end up far from the curb. Also, if you under straighten, for example, turn the steering wheel about a half a turn only, you will end up hitting the curb as your angle will keep increasing. Once we straighten the tires, we need to reverse until we reach our third reference point. So reverse, and once the left side mirror reaches the logo of the parked car, we enter the final stage of the maneuver. You can also use the reversing camera if you have one and use it as a reference point too. Usually, when this part of the camera gets on top of the curb, it's time to turn the steering wheel. In a future video, I'll show you how you can use a reversing camera to do a reverse parallel park. In order to finish the maneuver, we need the back of the car to move away from the curb, which is to the right. Thus, we turn the steering wheel full lock to the right. If you turn the steering wheel the wrong way, to the left, you will hit the curb. Now we continue reversing until our car is straight. To determine if the car is straight, we watch the side mirror, the front of the car, and even the horizon. If you stare at the mirror only, that's tunnel vision, and the car will end up on an angle and crooked. You can even hit the curb. When the car is straight, the last step is to straighten up the tires. Remember, I just turned the steering wheel full lock to the right, so to straighten the tires, I need to go to the opposite direction, which is to turn the steering wheel 1.5 turn to the left. We can even move forward at this point if we feel our car is close to the back car. Once we finish, we shift the gear selector to park if we are driving an automatic car, or neutral if we are driving a manual car. We also have to engage the handbrake at this point or the parking brake. One last thing to remember for those driving manual cars, if you are going to exit the car, you want to put the car in first gear or reverse so that the car doesn't roll. Now let's repeat this maneuver one more time. So here, let's say that we want to park in this space between these two cars. The first thing that we want to do is to check the rear view and left side mirror and signal left. Then we need to slow down early and gradually and stop mirror to mirror. Immediately select reverse gear and carry out observations. So check the right side blind spot, all the mirrors, and physically look at the rear. At this point, you reverse until the middle of the passenger window reaches the brake lights. Stop and do another quick check. So check the front, the right side blind spot, and the mirrors. Next, we want to turn the steering wheel full lock to the left while moving slowly. Continue reversing until our car is about 45-degree angle. So we use a point at the front, for example, line up with that tree, and also check the front passenger window to see if a third of it is in line with the brake lights. Like so. Now it's time to straighten the tires, so we turn the steering wheel 1.5 turn to the right. Once we finish doing that, we continue until our side mirror is in line with the logo or the middle of this car. At this point, we turn the steering wheel full lock to the right while moving slowly. We also have to start monitoring the car and make sure that we are straight. So you have to check the left side mirror and the front and keep switching your focus until the car is straight. Once the car is straight, we turn the steering wheel about 1.5 turn to the left so that we straighten the tires. Put the car in park if you are driving an automatic car, or neutral if you are driving a manual car. Also, engage the handbrake or the parking brake, whichever your car has. Here are some mistakes to avoid. Mistake number 1, stopping too close or too far from the front car. Mistake number 2, stopping with the car angled to the left or to the right, in other words, not parallel to the front car. Mistake number 3, turning the steering wheel the wrong way. Remember, if you want the back of the car to move closer to the left, turn the steering wheel to the left. And if you want the back of the car to move towards the right side, turn the steering wheel to the right. Mistake number 4, not carrying out observations. If you miss an important observation when doing a reverse parallel park on your driving test, you fail the test as you could crash with another car coming from the front or the back. Mistake number 5, not selecting the correct gear after stopping. Remember, before starting a maneuver, you need to select reverse. Also, if you are trying to move forward to adjust the parking, make sure you select drive first before touching the accelerator, or first gear if you are driving a manual car. Many new drivers don't select the gear, and this mistake can lead to hitting the car behind. That's it for this video, and I hope you learned something from it. If you did, you can give the video a like and subscribe for more driving related videos. Also, for those who would like to support the work that we do here on YouTube, you can send us a super thanks using the dollar button below. Thanks for watching, and if you are doing a driving test soon, I wish you the best of luck. See you in the next video.